Afternoon, folks, and welcome to the first video recording, the first weekly asynchronous drop for your Rhetoric 306 course at the University of Texas. And my name is Dr. Jennifer Sapio. I am thrilled to be with you this semester. Let's go ahead and get right into our work, and I will get you all set up for week one in our course together. Again, this is rhetoric and writing. I'm going to get to hear from each of you this week during our first discussion post. And I'm very anxious to hear what you bring to the course as far as your passions and interests and what you expect to personally achieve and what you intend your personal and professional objectives to be in this course. So today we are going to think initially about this question of what is rhetoric in the first place as a jumping off point. I have on the right side of your screen here an image of the School of Athens, which is where Aristotelian rhetoric hails from. And this may be some folks' first thoughts when you think of that term rhetoric, that it's old-fashioned, that it is maybe rigid, has very traditional, deeply historical rules. Maybe that it feels quite distant or old-timey. Maybe some folks' first thoughts about the term rhetoric. On the left, you see a word cloud with other potential connections and associations. I see discourse, oratory, rant, inform, address, persuasion, elocution, and all of these I think are reasonable concepts to carry, if you will, with that category of rhetoric, and we're going to explore many of those nuanced elements of the art of persuasion, as Aristotle put it, during this semester. So a little bit about myself, perhaps, to get us started so that we are not strangers. I did mention my name already. I'm Dr. Jennifer Sapio. Here I am again. And the photo on the left has my family. The two kiddos on the left are mine. They started kindergarten and third grade. And the two kiddos on the right-hand side of the photo are my precious nieces, two of them at least. And this photo was taken this summer while we were doing a little bit of traveling in California before we moved here. As you can see on the bottom of the slide, here we are in San Anselmo, Marin County, just a few weeks ago. And indeed, I am transplanted to California, at least for this semester, which is one of the reasons we are meeting asynchronously. But I'm not new to this gig. I have been teaching English and rhetoric and writing for the past 15 years, including at the University of Texas for many of those, the University Writing Center, the Center for Women's and Gender Studies, and at Austin Community College as well. And indeed, I am passionately devoted to this work. I read and write, thankfully, for pleasure as well as for my profession. In case you're wondering, and to start a conversation about book suggestions that I hope can be ongoing this semester, my favorite book that I've read lately is Girlhood by Melissa Febos, which I thought was just a stunning collection of essays. If any of you have read it, let me know and we can begin a conversation about that text. Otherwise, let me know what you've been reading or watching lately, maybe movies or your favorite series. I'd love to hear what media you are imbibing lately. And as far as practicing what I preach, I'm always publishing articles, book reviews, guest essays, and opinion pieces, which you all will be practicing with this semester as well. So let's get into some of the course details, which I'm sure you are anxious to know about today. I'm sorry I keep moving my video all over the place, but I'm trying to be present with you and also allow you to see some of the slide design. So as I'm sure you are aware, we are meeting asynchronously this semester. That means online, not live. However, we will have lots of interaction and engagement included, as you know, on the Canvas course learning management site, in discussion posts. What do y'all think about Discord, Slack, the GroupMe app? There are many ways that we can begin engaging with one another live. And then, of course, throughout the semester, I'll have office hours. I will, we can arrange individual conferences, etc., so that we will have opportunities, and hopefully many of them early and often, to engage as much in person, face to face on a screen at least, as we can. If you are watching this video, that means you already have successfully managed the Canvas course website, and I will be reaching out to anybody who is having difficulties. Of course, you can send me an email through the Canvas inbox or at jsapio@utexas.edu, which I'll be sharing that email often as well. And later in this presentation, I'll show you where to find it on the Canvas website, so that I can make sure you are oriented to everything that you need, including the syllabus, the course schedule, all of your assignments, your textbook. Everything is accessible through that Canvas course website, and in the announcements and on the modules is where you will be seeing these weekly videos, your lecture material, and instructions for you to complete your work at your own pace throughout the week. So I think this is a really wonderful course model for folks who are managing very busy schedules. You have your majors, your minors, perhaps you're managing labs, perhaps childcare, family responsibilities. So I just want to say to all of you enrolled in this course already in advance of your work, that I appreciate the commitment and dedication that an asynchronous course requires. So way to go for you if you are up late watching this video, or up early in the morning, or if you are squeezing it in between classes. I see you and I appreciate your work, and keep it up. Because we have what I think, otherwise I wouldn't be here, are really important course objectives that will not just allow you, to get a good grade in this course, which in my opinion is very low on my list of priorities, but will actually allow you to develop some competencies that can transfer to other areas of your life where you have your real passions and interests. I'm not trying to convert anybody to be a rhetoric and writing professor like me, although if you are interested in graduate studies in English or rhetoric and writing, I would love to talk to you about that. But what I would be perhaps even more excited to talk to you about is how I can support your goals and objectives as far as your personal and professional trajectory. How does clear communication and expression factor into what you actually want to achieve and do in your life? I want to help with that. So here on the screen, you can see a little bit of language about the competencies I hope, and indeed I expect and believe you will develop and amplify to understand and demonstrate effective written, oral, and visual communication processes through invention, creation, organization, drafting, revision, editing, and presentation processes, which we'll go through in scaffolded, in other words, step-by-step methodology in this class, so that each assignment will build on the last. That way, you'll have these transferable skills that you can tailor or adapt to other areas of your life. So here in this class, we're going to choose, practice choosing methods of communication that are appropriate to individual purposes and audiences. And so therefore, you'll have those, kind of muscle memory, if you will, of being able to, when you go out and need to communicate or express yourself in another venue to a different audience for another purpose, you'll be able to quickly move into gear there. And lastly, you see on the slide, collaboration is a major objective for me, which we can still do in an asynchronous course. As you'll see this week, our first assignment is a discussion post, so that we can be engaging with one another as real humans, which I think is the only way for us to understand and then weigh alternative viewpoints and work collaboratively toward shared goals, which you absolutely will need in whatever field or career or even personal community that you are involved in for the remainder of your life, in fact. So let's go ahead and get to work. Hopefully I've made the case sufficiently enough that we're doing important work here, and I hope that you'll be deeply invested in it. So what are we going to be doing together this semester? Let's take a look at the course overview. The course theme is, I'm really excited about, the course theme is the same for all Rhetoric 306 sections at the University of Texas. And what I love about that, if you can imagine hundreds and indeed thousands of other students on campus, all kind of in this hive mind, group think campaign. We are all studying, carefully analyzing, and considering this question together of independence, interdependence, and community, and the relationship between those. That's our theme. What does our own independence, our own freedom, if you will, liberty, our own ability to determine our own lives, how does that interact with, intersect with, or butt heads with a concept of interdependence in which we depend on one another in groups as small as just one other person or larger, you can imagine thinking out, kind of zooming out in a macro lens to whole communities, cities, states, nations, globes. This is our question we're going to be deeply, deeply wrestling with. And I'll show you a little more language about this course theme when we get into our Canvas website momentarily as well. So we're going to be exploring that course theme through 4 units. And for each of the 4 units, there are a number of, as I said, scaffolded or smaller assignments building up to a larger project for each unit. So 4 units, 4 projects, and a number of smaller assignments that are going to help you build those skills and research resources that you'll need to complete the project. Okay, so a little more detail zooming in to those course requirements. As I said, you have 4 projects, but here I have indicated at least a topic sentence for what the project entails. Of course, as we move into each unit, these will become abundantly clear as we work through all of the steps. But just so you have a kind of bird's eye view, if you will, sense of where we're headed, I want to direct your attention to this slide that shows you through project 1, 2, 3, and 4, what those are about. For project 1, we are analyzing the rhetorical situation in a set of texts, which I will provide. And in fact, we'll start working with those this week. So I'll show you on the course website how to access in the modules that first project 1 instructions and the documents that are associated with the question of water quality in Texas. So we're going to look at a number of different informative, opinion, and other types of sources in order to understand the controversy. Who are the stakeholders? What are the points of disagreement? What are the points of stasis and agreement within this rhetorical situation? So that first project is going to carry us through Unit 1, and it will compose 20% of your course grade. Project 2 is analyzing a local argument that you will come up with the set of texts for an issue, a controversy that is hot right now, either on campus or in our city of Austin or in the state of Texas. And we'll talk much more about choosing topics for project 2 and completing the research, etc., as we get into Unit 2. For project 3, you're going to actually propose a course of action based on your research and reflection, and for project 4, you're going to develop a multimedial argument. So visual, textual, audio, video. I really look forward to seeing how you'll tailor your persuasive course of action to a particular audience with that multimedial argument at the end. Notice that the numbers here, the percentage does not add up to 100 yet, because the projects will also be supplemented by, as I said, those smaller daily assignments, participation grades, discussion posts, etc. So that will comprise the remaining 20%, if my math is correct, which I am confident that it is. So a few course policies that I want to make sure to highlight. You'll see these in the syllabus, which I will point out to you on the course website in just a moment, but I want to take the time to highlight these because they're very important, and we'll return to these multiple times as well. So attendance. There is a Department of Rhetoric and Writing attendance policy that is mandatory for all Rhetoric 306 courses, which states that should you miss the equivalent of 5 Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday class sessions, or 7 Monday, Wednesday, Friday sessions this semester, you will fail the course. In other words, for an asynchronous course, the way that will apply is if you haven't logged in for the equivalent of 2 weeks, right? So once you get past missing class for 2 weeks, you will fail the asynchronous course, which I hate to say so kind of rigidly, but that is the department policy. So there are ways for us to make up work for unexcused absences. Of course, excused religious holidays, jury duty, etc., that does not fall, that's exempt from this policy. But if for any reason, illness or whatever else we are all dealing with, while we're still here in the middle of this global pandemic. If for any reason you miss class, and by miss class I mean are unable to log in and watch the video, are unable to access your course materials, your modules, complete your assignments by the assigned due dates in Canvas, reach out to me, send me an email, let me know so that I can arrange a makeup assignment for you to complete, and that will actually kind of nullify the digital absence, if you will. I know that that policy is a bit nebulous as it applies to asynchronous courses, but my suggestion for you would be to log in regularly and often, certainly at least once per week. On Mondays is when I will post our videos, and then you will have the remainder of the week until the following Monday to submit your assignments for that week. Okay, so Monday, the big important day, and if I haven't seen you logging in for the equivalent of 2 weeks, we're going to have to begin some conversations about the attendance policy. Late work I will accept, but I, again, suggest that you avoid turning in work late as assignments in this course build on one another. And so if you get behind on one assignment, it's inevitably going to affect your, procession, if you will, through your progress through to the next assignment. And the other thing that I'll note as kind of incentive to submit your work on the at the assigned due date is that I cannot promise timely responses to off-schedule assignments, if that makes sense. If I am already grading project 2, right, and I receive project 1 from you, I am not going to, stop everything I'm doing, my grading of project 2, and turn to your project 1, right? It's going to get at the back of the list, the back of the grading stack, if you will, and so there may end up being delays if your assignment is submitted off schedule. Okay, the last course policy that I really want to highlight here, it's very important, is regarding the textbook. Becoming Rhetorical is our textbook this semester, which is a great text available from Cengage. It's linked in the top of the modules tab on Canvas, which I'm going to turn to in just a moment. It is offered as part of the Longhorn Textbook Access Program, which means that a reduced price of the textbook is added to your What I Owe page, and you will not have to pay to access the textbook as long as if you're willing to opt into this this access program. If you would like to opt out, we can discuss next week how to go into your My Textbooks app and opt out and purchase the textbook from another vendor, for example. But you have that available. I'll show you where to grab it on your Canvas website. Actually, right now, let's head over to our Canvas course page and check it out. So here we are in the Rhetoric 306 course website that you find on your courses tab on the left-hand navigation bar. And I'm just on the home page, which is where you'll find a description, a further description of the theme that I explained earlier: independence, interdependence, and community, which we'll be engaging with all year in rhetoric. So I won't read this all aloud now, but just point to you that you can see further details, further definitions about some of the terms: independence, community, and rationale for the theme, as well as brief explanations of projects 1, 2, 3, and 4, which I also already outlined for you. So now I'm scrolling back up to the top, and on the left-hand navigation menu over here, I'm going to click into the syllabus tab, show you where you can access that, and you can see the information about our asynchronous course, our course website, my email, jsapio@utexas.edu, my office hours, information about the required textbooks, and all of the relevant policies, coursework, breakdowns for letter grades, links to helpful resources, just absolutely everything that you may need to reference throughout the semester, including accessibility information, a safe space policy, and learning procedures that will ensure that we have respectful and productive sessions online during our discussion posts, etc. I already mentioned the attendance policy and how that translates to our asynchronous course. You have the usual information about scholastic honesty, which I don't expect to have to refer to. Information for services for students with disabilities, which I absolutely encourage you to seek out services and support if you are eligible, and helpful information regarding emergencies, department climate, COVID-19, and where you can ask questions of the Department of Rhetoric and Writing about any of these policies. So here we are at the end of the syllabus, which breaks down the course into a week-by-week course schedule. Just focusing on week 1, this week you'll see that we are reading the introduction and chapter 1. Actually, this needs to be edited. Hold on, I can do that right now. There you go, I fixed it. After that brief pause, I'm back. The course schedule is updated. Week 1 here is outlined for you. We're reading the introduction in chapter 1 from your textbook, Becoming Rhetorical. You are also checking out the Project 1 description and some of those documents from the modules on Canvas. We are thinking about what is rhetoric and about the basic rhetorical situation. And your homework is to complete discussion post 1. So all of the assignments will be outlined weekly for you here. And again, I'm at the bottom of the syllabus. Pardon the scrolling, but just showing you again where I was on the Canvas course website. Modules is a handy tab where you can see the units laid out. And I just want to note here that for this video's purpose, we're looking at last semester's fall 2021 course, but the material is the same. And for this course, spring of 2022, you'll see everything updated and perfectly accurate on your Canvas course website. And we're just using the former template for this video, so you can ignore any dates from fall of 2021. Unit 1 here, again, analyzing the rhetorical situation of these Project 1 texts. I'll just click right into there and you can see and then go back and skim on your own this description of Project 1, which we'll be working toward for these next 4 weeks. I have 4 texts supplied for you. For one of your homework upcoming, you will be supplying a 5th text on your own. Ultimately, you're going to be writing a 1,000 to 1,500 word long report. Don't stress about it right now. We are slowly going to walk step by step through this process. The controversy is water quality standards in Texas, and some of the resources are here. News and viewpoint sources from the New Yorker, the New York Times, the Midland Reporter Telegram, and the statesman. You don't have to study these this week. There won't be a quiz or a test on these this week, or in fact, ever. But for this week, you will choose one of them to do a quick analysis for your discussion post. So really, whichever one of these kind of stands out to you, or if you want to click through all of them and use your own criteria for deciding which one you want to work with for discussion post 1. The next thing that I want to show you is where to find the textbook, which is back here in modules. Click on modules, and right here at the top should be your custom Becoming Rhetorical ebook. And if you click the link, you should be able to load your ebook from Cengage. The ebook is, again, provided through the Longhorn Textbook Access program. You just enter your email, click through next, and with your login information, you will be able to access the textbook here. Okay, and once you have logged in and your ebook has loaded, here's a condensed screenshot of what it looks like. Over here on the left-hand navigation, you can scroll through the table of contents. Here's the first part 1, what becoming rhetorical means, the introduction, which you'll be reading for homework this week. You can scroll through each section of the introduction here, and then moving on to chapter 1 as well. Left-hand navigation menu allows you to click there and jump straight into chapter 1, the basic rhetorical situation. You've got your learning objectives and each of the sections. Really significant here to highlight and pay attention to for your first assignment, your first discussion post, which is due next Monday on August 30th. Pay attention to the concepts of communicators, the message, and the audience here. 1A, 1B, and 1C. And I'll show you an image in just a moment to illustrate the relationship between these 3 parts of any instance of oratory or speech or communication. This is what we call the basic rhetorical situation. Who's involved in any event or occasion of oratory or speech or writing? Well, you have the person doing the communicating, the communicator. Here's a handy figure from page 9 of your textbook. The traditional rhetorical triangle includes the communicator, the person speaking, or the publisher, or the ad agency, or whoever it is that's doing the communicating, the message, the content of what they are saying, what they are expressing, the meaning, and then the third point on the rhetorical triangle is the audience, who the communicators are speaking to, who they are attempting to persuade, who is listening. So as an example, you can think about your favorite TV show or series or movie that you've been watching lately. And you can think about not only the actors and the script writers, but also the producers and the major media companies that are bankrolling these cultural products as the communicators, all of them. I mean, so already just thinking about one of the facets of the rhetorical triangle, you have a many-layered complex picture, and then you add in real audience members, the individual humans who are consuming these products, not to mention the big data, the statistics, the numbers, the revenue, the specific locations? Are they playing in theaters, or are they streaming immediately? You've seen perhaps the big case that Scarlett Johansson won against Disney, or Disney settled, right? This question of who will the audience be? When will the audience be able to access this material? These are really live questions. And lastly, what is the message? I mean, that's a significant part of the fun of this work we'll be doing together this semester, of interpretation and analysis. What are these products we're consuming, these cultural artifacts, these objects of expression? What do they mean? Are they about, in the case of the recent Netflix hit Don't Look Up, are they about climate change, even when they're presumably about asteroids, or whatever the case may be? And so these are the three elements that you'll be reading about in Chapter 1 this week and discussing for your first discussion post. Let me go back to the Canvas course website and show you where to find that discussion post. So I'm back on the home page of our Canvas course website, and I am going to go down to the discussion link here on the left-hand navigation menu, and you will see discussion post 1. And if you click in there, you will see the instructions. First, read through a document in the document set for Project 1. Remember, I showed that to you in modules, those informative and opinion pieces about water quality in Texas. Choose one document, read through that one, and that will be the one you'll focus on responding to for discussion post 1. For the discussion post, include the following: your preferred name. This is your way of introducing yourself to the course. Include where you are from. Include any personal or professional goals you'd like to share and how you intend to use this writing class to pursue your passions and interests. So we're doing double duty here in the first discussion post to introduce ourselves, get to know one another, reflect a bit on how this course fits into your real human, personal, and professional plans. And then lastly, the kind of course content part of this discussion post is refer to one of the documents from the Project 1 document set, one of those 4 texts about water quality in Texas that I said you can skim and choose the one you wanted to focus on for this week, and identify just quickly the communicator, message, and audience for that particular text, using what you learned from Chapter 1 about the basic rhetorical situation for guidance. Okay, I am, of course, going to be available via email and on office hours to answer any questions or concerns you have this week. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and go to our last slide, which gives you a clear outline of what to prepare for next time. Okay, so for next time, you are reading the introduction and Chapter 1 of Becoming Rhetorical, your textbook, which is available in the Modules tab on your Canvas course website. You are beginning to skim the Project 1 documents about water quality in Texas, choosing one of those documents to post about for your first discussion post by Monday. Remember, your discussion post includes your preferred name, where you're from, a bit about how this course aligns with your personal and professional passions and interests, and then finally explores the communicator, audience, and message of the Project 1 document that you selected. Reach out to me with absolutely any questions or concerns that you have this week. I am available via office hours, via email, and by appointment. Uh, for today, I will go ahead and pause us here, although be prepared that perhaps in the coming weeks our lecture videos may run a bit longer actually than this one. So a bit shorter video this week as we have kind of a half week to get us started, and I cannot wait to see your discussion posts next Monday and look forward to seeing your next video and your next instructions for week 2 coming up soon. Okay, wishing you all the best, and we'll be in touch until next week. Bye-bye, y'all. Have a great week.